All right, let's get started.
Can you guys see my screen? Nice. All right. So good morning or good afternoon to all of you in the Philippines. So as Derek said, my name is Antonio Chiappetta. I'm software engineer at Elevate Labs, US-based company, but working in a fully distributed way since a year. I'm based in Paris, but I have family in Italy. It's the country where I come from. So I occasionally go back and forth between France and Italy. And I know Derek since a few years. We were together at the Apple Developer Academy in Italy. It's a pleasure to be here today and talk about my experience for all of you guys starting at Hikre School soon. So again, this is a small summary. Italian living in Paris, working for a US company. A lot of different trips in my career that got me there. So originally, my family is from the south of Italy. And so I lived my best years near Napoli, the city of pizza and mozzarella. And since I was a kid, I always had a passion for computer, phones, all sorts of digital devices. And so I started a bachelor in computer engineering at University Federico II in Napoli. But as my studies progressed, I realized that in order to get the best results in a computer science career, you have to be open-minded and go out of your comfort zone to connect with people all over the world. But that doesn't necessarily mean traveling away from your friends and family. And you know, the first life-changing opportunity I met during my career arrived right in my city. So it was 2016 when people in Napoli started talking about a school that Apple was going to start in the city. And for me, as many other friends and colleagues in the computer engineering bachelor, it was shocking to hear this news. Like we were like, why here? Why Napoli? Why Italy? And so many places. It was the first academy that Apple opened in Europe, so it felt very exclusive to have it in our city. But it was true. They really did it, and so I decided to apply. It was tough to convince my family that there was a right choice for me. You know, I was in the middle of my bachelor, between the second and third year of my bachelor, so I had to take a break there to go and attend this school of app development. And it wasn't easy to convince the people around me that there was the right choice. But sometimes in your career, you will face this kind of problems where it's a bit difficult to make your dear ones understand what's good and what's less good in your career path. And you have to be very determined. If you know that something is going to make your career better, it's going to give you a head start on an important career, you should just do it. And I think that's the kind of decision you took with attending Hikre School. So back to the academy, to the Apple Academy. It was an amazing year. It wasn't like a traditional university where you have this lectures with professors that don't really care about students or that don't really let you do any practical work. The Apple Developer Academy was just about having a lot of ideas, sharing them with everybody, with the other students, with your mentors, and then working together on coming up with a solution that took the form of an iOS app. And there were a lot of great ideas that year, and a lot of help from the mentors, from the people from Apple. It was really amazing to see how ideas coming from different backgrounds, because it wasn't just engineering students, it was students coming from, I don't know, a design background or a physics background or some other thing that has nothing to do with technology, but everybody had great ideas, and the academy helped creating that bridge between software development, between design and business strategy, in order to create a product that you could actually put on the market. And I'm sure that Hikre School will provide you with a similar comprehensive approach that will help you boost your career. Next up, that was just the beginning for me. It was great to be at the Apple Academy, and I started taking some iOS development jobs in Napoli, in my city, while finishing my computer engineering bachelor. But then I decided to leave. And guys, you know, the digital world is full of opportunities everywhere. And I think the most valuable asset you can collect over the years is the people you meet. And in order to meet a lot of people of different cultures, different backgrounds, different perspectives, you have to travel a lot. And after finishing my studies in Napoli, I decided to start a master in ICT innovation. So a sort of mix between a master in computer science focused on human-computer interaction and design, and a minor in innovation and entrepreneurship that gave me that business strategy knowledge that helps putting a product on the market. And so I traveled first to Milano in the north of Italy, and then to Helsinki in Finland, very north of Europe. Here you see a picture of the campus of Aalto University in Finland. It was a really nice place. And that's where I spent the second year of my master, focusing on the major in human-computer interaction and design. This experience is what really drove me out of my comfort zone. You know, I left my family, then I also left my country, and I did a big move. I changed a lot in terms of culture, of geography, of weather differences. I moved from the hottest country in Europe to the coldest country in Europe. That was really a huge change, but it helped me grow a lot. So at Aalto University, I learned about UX design and artificial intelligence. And these topics became a nice complement to the software engineering experience I already gained in iOS development. And, you know, even if finding a job in iOS development might be easy after the experience at Apple Developer Academy, or after the experience you guys will have at Hikre School, keeping yourself up to date with the latest technologies and broadening your skills in other areas related to software engineering must be an ongoing commitment. You should never stop doing that. The world is changing at an incredible pace, and in the digital world, the proliferation of learning tools, communication tools, is making this change happen quicker than ever. So you must keep studying and learning at all times during your career, and be ready for new opportunities and different knowledge areas. All right, so the next step in my career after Finland was working for Elevate Labs. So early 2020, I was looking for a master's thesis job to finish my studies at Aalto University, and the Student Association in Helsinki helped me land a job in Silicon Valley. So this association was doing some talent matching of students in Finland with startups in the Silicon Valley, and they put me in touch with Elevate Labs, this mental fitness startup working on the Elevate brain training app and the Balance meditation app. Elevate Labs offered me an internship to work on my master thesis. So I went to San Francisco in March 2020, and I developed a master thesis on user onboarding in our brain training app, Elevate. I combined my knowledge in design with my coding skills to implement several changes to the onboarding flow in the app. some of which proved very successful and got shipped in the final update of the app, driving conversion of users to create an account and pay for the premium version of the application. So after a successful internship, Elevate Labs offered me a full-time position. But in the meantime, during the pandemic, the company became totally distributed. So they allowed me to relocate to whatever place in the world I wanted to live in. And since my girlfriend is from Paris, I decided to move there. And that was last September. Since then, I worked on a lot of cool projects at Elevate Labs, keeping my main focus on iOS development, but also expanding my skill set into Android development, games development, backend development. And thanks to the full remote setup, I have the freedom to fly back to Italy and visit family whenever I want. So enough for my personal story. Time to share some of what I learned in my journey and tell you how you can apply that to your own career in iOS development. So let me focus on why being an iOS developer is a great career move. App development is at the right intersection between technology and design, the kind of intersection that nowadays the market requires to create products that really change people's lives. You know, technology alone is not enough. Design alone is not enough. You have to get a combination of the two. So being skilled just in a particular coding language is not gonna get you there, or being skilled only on how to create a particular UI is not gonna get you there. Successful teams, especially in small startups that are trying to grow, are cross-disciplinary teams where people are not just expert in their own main expertise field, but also understand how the other people in the team are working and what is needed on their side, which is what creates that great connection that makes teams grow. And so that gives a lot of velocity to the development process and gets your company to the next step of really deploying successful products. And so, as I mentioned earlier, when you start a career in iOS software development, one thing you should really do is never stop learning and teaching. The world changes, the roles change, the teams are always going to be very cross-functional teams. And so you have to expand your knowledge set beyond what is just your main area of expertise, that may be iOS software development after Hikre School. So don't fear change. Things change a lot in today's world, but if you take that with excitement, that's going to drive you to more and more ideas and more ways of creating successful products. And it's not just about learning, it's also about sharing what you learn with the people around you. So if you learn how to use a particular piece of technology that is needed on your team, and you share that with the rest of the team, the entire group as a whole is gonna do things faster. It's gonna achieve greater results together. After all, software development is a team sport. So it's not just about what you can do, but it's about what your team as a group can achieve all together. So never stop learning and teaching. But one more thing. So another thing that is very important is your soft skills, your relational skills. Previously, I mentioned the importance of being at the intersection between technology and design, but you also have to be very skilled at how you communicate about what you know, about what you need, and how you communicate in your team to make information flow fast, feedback flow fast, and help other people succeed with you. So this is becoming even more important nowadays with the work that we do remotely. It's harder to create social connections than it is in real life. So communicate a lot and in a good way. It's very important to keep your team working in a nice way. And it's what will help you become a real world citizen. Keep an open mind to everything that comes your way. Be always ready to communicate your needs and your passions to everybody, and that's gonna get you to the place where you get to work with the most passionate and the most skilled people worldwide. And this is for my presentation about my story, about my advice. I hope you have some questions, and also leave in the keynote my contact information. So if you want to ask more questions or just follow my experience, you can reach out on LinkedIn or on the email.
Thank you so much, Antonio. It was a very good presentation. We really loved it.
Thank you.
Let's show some hands. Come on.
Thank you, Antonio.
So the great part of this coffee session is questions. So you get the ability to ask questions from from a beginner perspective or student perspective to expert perspective as well. So let's start. I could start. For instance, if there is one thing that you could teach a student on iOS development, what is that one thing? Like, if you have to choose one thing.
One thing in iOS development. That's interesting. There are so many things
There's
to mention.
Concepts, right? But if you have, there's a lot of concepts about iOS development. But if there is like the one North Star that you could learn, that will kind of like bring everything into place.
I think something that is very overlooked many times is looking at the language you're working on. I remember one of the things that I did first when I was at the Apple Academy that mentors didn't push me to do, and I did it myself, was looking at the Swift language, all the ins and outs of the Swift language. The language is, in general, it's not something you will hold on for your entire career. You're gonna change languages, work with different languages many times. But if you're really focusing on a particular platform, I think that getting all the most powerful and hidden features of the language can help you a lot, boost your app's performance, which is what makes apps not just be downloaded, but not deleted. If I download an app and the app is not performing at 100%, even if I'm really interested in the contents of the app, I'm just gonna say, well, no, this is cluttering my phone. I don't want it here. And so I think that focusing on how to make the best experience for the user, starting from the ins and outs of the language, is a very important thing.
That sounds great. Yeah, it's a discrete language. Knowing the fundamental concepts is really the foundation of everything, right? Because like programming language are fundamentally the same. They just have different syntax and purposes. So we have another question from Nick De Vera. He asked, what's your design favorite? Like, it doesn't have to be an app, but it could be like Eiffel Tower, Duolingo, Corvette. If you had to choose one design for a product that you have in mind, what is it?
Not Eiffel Tower, probably. I think it's just a piece of metal. I'm used to love a lot of big piece of works and like big palaces and churches and that kind of stuff between Italy and France. I think that piece of metal isn't just what I love the most. But the other two examples are really great. On the app development side, Duolingo, I think it's a great app. And it's many times a source of inspiration for us at Elevate Labs because it's a learning app that does things the right way and that changes over time the right way, helping you build an experience with the app. For example, I really love how they have their mascot following you everywhere and telling you how to review your recent errors, how to go get the words you learn from your personal dictionary. I think that they do really well on that side.
Yes.
And Corvette is also a really nice design. I love cars, and I think cars
You're
also
Italian,
help
so
to
you have a great taste in cars. It's Ferrari,
yes,
Maserati.
yes,
Probably is not the
Lamborghini, yeah,
best, but Ferraris, it's one
yeah,
of a kind.
yeah, yeah. And I think Corvette gives a great perception of what it is about. Like you look at the design of the car and what that car is meant to do. I think that's the best thing that we should be aware of when looking at whatever type of design. You have to understand in a very short time span what that is about. And so there are many ways to communicate that, but doing it quickly, it's very important. Especially nowadays, there are so many products in the digital world that, as I said earlier, even if your app is just slightly less performant than another, users are gonna delete it. And so you have to focus a lot on their experience from not day one, hour one, second one.
Okay. Yeah, so another question from Paul Sarmiento. He asks, in your opinion, what is the most memorable project you've been involved in and why?
Most memorable project? I think it's Elevate itself, the app I'm currently working on. It's great when you work on a project that really has an impact for customers, that gives you purpose. And it's the kind of experience I feel at my current job, where we have this brain training tool and people are writing to us to say that, I don't know, they had problems with their health. They had, I don't know, a brain surgery and they're trying to recover from that, and they have troubles remembering things or communicating or reading. And through our little games, they're making that happen again, and they're improving in their communication skills again and recovering from health problems. I think that having purpose in what you do, whatever your job is, whether it's in the digital world or not, is really fundamental to keep you happy, passionate, and to never feel like work is work. To me, work is making people, making an impact for people and making a positive impact on them. And that's really important.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, since I believe what we learned a lot from our experience at Apple Developer Academy was that everything felt like a game, right? We were learning as we go. So I believe one part of learning is also knowing how to play a game and knowing how to have fun. So this is also important for Hikre School students. Don't take everything seriously. That's also one good advice. Make sure you have fun, or find ways to make fun out of it. Like play it like a game. And so, yeah, we have another question from Chad. Chad asked, what are the career milestone or opportunities in store for us after graduating from Hikre School? Like, for example, global opportunities as well, like working for US-based companies, for instance. Let's say as an iOS developer, would it make students world-class, like in a way that they could apply themselves and their skills, not only in the Philippines, but also, let's say, in Singapore, United States, and Europe? And what's your say on that?
Yeah, I think that iOS development in general, software development careers, they are nowadays, even more after the pandemic and after a lot of companies weren't fully remote, they're a worldwide thing. So if you know how to build products in the digital world, if you know how to build a great iOS app, and you focus on your on creating a strong network, connecting with people at conferences, connecting with people on LinkedIn, you're for sure gonna get anywhere you want. Companies need a lot of good developers, and now that many of them are opening up their doors to onboard people remotely from all sorts of places in the world, that's gonna get easier.
Just imagine being an iOS developer and sitting in a beach in Bali.
Yes,
that'll be sick, man. That'll be awesome. You know, you just design.
It's kind of my plans for the summer. You know, I have friends and family not in Bali, but in the Amalfi Coast, maybe in Italy. But still, kind of similar.
There.
What's up? Yeah.
Boracay is still good.
What's that?
Boracay is still better.
Yeah, Boracay. In the Philippines, we have considerably one of the best white beaches in the whole planet. It's called Boracay. And I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but I've heard a lot of Italians visited the place as well, and they've liked it.
I should come.
Yeah, you should try also Palawan, El Nido, and the underground river.
Yeah, it's whenever you go, whenever you plan on visiting the Philippines, you know who to contact, and we will be with the hand gestures. Sophia wants to ask a question. Yeah, feel free to go.
Right. So hi, Antonio.
Hey, Sophia.
Yeah, I enjoyed your story, but there's one thing that I wanted to ask, since I really don't have an idea with this career path. I just wanted to add a skill, especially that we live in a technology generation now. I wanted to ride on the boat. You know, I want to be in the trend. So, and also I want to build something valuable, especially that I'm in the business industry. I also study business. So my question is just so simple. So what was the what was the hardest challenge you have encountered when you were just starting in this career path? Since for me, I really don't have an idea. So I also believe that you started as well as a newbie like that. So what's the hardest challenge you have encountered? So maybe I can somehow when I started Hikre School and after Hikre School, I can relate to that situation, and so I know what to do.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for the question. I think it's a really important one to discuss. I think the hardest challenge when you start is feeling so little when you look at people around you that know how to do things that you don't know how to do, which is a pretty normal feeling. I remember when I was at the Apple Academy, for example, there were people that were coming there after having already some years of career or having finished their studies. So of course they were more skilled than me. They knew how to do things. And what really changes the way you succeed with this challenge is by looking at this from the opposite perspective of, I have people around me that know how to do things. I'm gonna learn from them. I'm gonna steal that knowledge from them, kind of. And so I'm gonna get better thanks to being with them. It's the same feeling that I also had, for example, when I started at Elevate Labs last year. I started as an intern, and I was the only intern, and most of the people on my team were seniors or mid-level engineers. And so I felt little in the beginning, but at the same time, I really saw the opportunity to grow with them, to learn from them. And if you take all the opportunities that you will meet this way, you will for sure get better at what you do, and you'll be able to also transmit that energy to your team, and they will be eager to teach you how to do things the right way.
Thank you so much. That was helpful. Thank you.
That's very well said, by the way. So this is also a very. I have like a very like simple question before we wrap up this coffee session. A lot of students, of course, a lot of people are wondering if they should start with web development or app development. And what's your opinion on that? Why iOS development, or why app development now instead of web development?
I think that app development is easier to penetrate into people's lives. Our smartphones, our tablets, our watches are something that we have on us every day at all times. And when we use this kind of devices, for sure, doing that with an app that meets the needs of the operative system of the device is for sure easier than doing the same through a web application. And so as the world moves more towards being distributed towards moving a lot, it becomes more and more important to be able to target this kind of audience that uses apps rather than those who use websites. And so I think iOS development is a great career move from this perspective.
Well, thank you so much, Antonio. It's lovely to have you for our coffee session. And yeah, the last thing that I want to say is that it's a pleasure to have you talk to our students, and especially being part of our network. So in the future, when we do our demo days, we could invite you to be like a judge of their projects.
That would be great.
Apps, and you could like become part of our network at Hikre School, and so students get to know you as well, and vice versa, of course.
I'd love that, and it was a great pleasure to speak today. And guys, if you have more questions, how to reach out. There are my contact information on the keynote. So yeah, see you soon.
Yes, I will put the keynote public. So we'll put the keynote accessible on our Hikre School website. So if you want to download it and have an overview again, you can download it anytime you want. So thank you for coming, and we'll keep in touch, and I will see you soon. Thank you, Antonio. Thank you, everyone.
Sure thing.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.